New South Wales Save Our Biodiversity Telethon. Today is very exciting because it is the last day of tax, and I can't believe me as a 24-year-old is saying that the last day of tax is exciting, but it really is. This is our last chance for the year to get donations in to be able to do the work that we do. And it's also exciting because one of our very generous donors has offered to match all donations up until midnight tonight up to $20,000. So head on over to save-our-biodiversity.nature.org.au to donate. Please, we really need your support. This is the only way that we can do the work that we do. But moving on from that, I'm very excited to introduce our first guest for today, Andrew Cox, CEO of the Invasive Species Council. Andrew, how are you doing?
Morning, Peter. I'm great.
That's wonderful to hear. So can you give us just a brief breakdown for the people who may not know what you do, and I don't think that'd be many of them, but just in case, can you give us a brief breakdown of what the Invasive Species Council does?
Yeah, look, thanks, Peter. We're a national organisation, but many of our staff and supporters based in New South Wales, and we're interested in reducing the environmental impacts of invasive species. So the pest animals, weeds, even things like nasty crazy ants and fire ants, diseases of plants, and the marine environment has invasive species. So we know that invasive species are a big driver of loss. They've caused the most extinctions of mammals in Australia. Over 25 mammals are extinct because of invasive species, and the problem's getting worse. So we're trying to strategically solve that on the ground to support people who are trying to manage bushland.
Yeah, and I think one of the main campaigns that people may know you for is some of the amazing work that you've done in Kosciuszko National Park with feral horses. Did you want to touch on that at all?
Yeah, just briefly, because we had a bit of a big win late last year where the New South Wales government signed off a new horse management plan, which was to drive the numbers in horses, which are 14, 15,000, just a horrendous number, down to 3,000. At least we hope it's just the first step to trying to remove this threat altogether. But it was a great collective effort. The community around the Kosciuszko National Park, Nature Conservation Council was really a key part of building support, the National Parks Association, Colong Foundation, and particularly a lot of the Canberra-based groups, the NPA there and the Conservation Council and the Bushwalkers. It was a great collective effort, and we've sort of got that on the radar, and everyone just knows that horses don't belong in a national park, and so we've got a bit of a win, but there's still the hard yards ahead because the government now has to implement the plan, so we're going to keep the government honest on that front.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you brought up the collaborative effort. I think one of the things that maybe we don't talk about enough is just how much we as charities do work together in the field and come together to talk about big policy issues. And we at the Nature Conservation Council obviously understand this because we have 184 member groups, so we already talk to a lot of people, but it is also wonderful to talk to all these other large charities, not just throughout the state, but throughout the country as well. And we thank you for all the work that you do, and we love working with you guys. Obviously, this is a donation drive as a telethon, but if you guys would also like to support the Invasive Species Council and the amazing work that they do, where can they go, Andrew?
Yeah, look, our website, invasives.org.au, there's a donate button on the homepage. That's the simplest way. We'll support our broader work, both in New South Wales and across the country. But it's been great. We're a member group of Nature Conservation Council, and it's a great collaborative body to really help everyone be strategic about solving the big issues facing New South Wales.
It's been wonderful talking to you, Andrew. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Peter. Good to talk.